Konbanwa minasan, Phantom desu. Good evening, everybody. It's Phantom, and we are back for more Satisfactory, more mega base building, and coffee. little too much there.
I need my caffeine.
My human got this awesome thing from Starbucks. It was a hazelnut cookie crumble cold brew. It had like a chocolate and his chocolate hazelnut cookie crumble cold brew. It was very, very long names, but it had like a chocolate cold foam on top of cold brew, and cookie crumbles like Oreo crumbles on top, with a little bit of hazelnut syrup mixed in. So it was basically the Nutella flavor combo plus a little bit of Oreo. And the texture of cold foam plus cold brew is just delicious.
That sounds a lot like a grown-up's version of a mud pie. And yes. I approve.
And I have to say, the best thing about that... Hello, Kirana. I have to say the best thing about that, the cold foam, I think, is when you put it on hot drinks and drink it right away.
Ooh.
Because
then you get the mix of hot and cold.
Yeah, the sensorial difference between the hot coffee and the cold foam is really delicious.
Yeah.
Alright, so base building. Oh, wait, first. Hard drive. It's got 50 seconds left.
We can talk about coffee for another minute.
Yeah. Oh, coffee. We actually got some decaf whole beans now. So we can make half and half calf, with all whole fresh grinded beans. And it's actually really good.
Not sure how I feel about that.
Well, we've been doing half calf for a long time in the house, and so both my human and his mom are used to only having half the caffeine, or not exactly half, because decaf is not no calf. It's just heavily decaffeinated. They're used to having the half calf coffee, and so having full calf is a little bit jittery for them. So it's interesting, and the beans are actually Amazon brand, so they're like nothing special, and I don't think they really add that much to the flavor, but it keeps it from tasting like stale pre-ground fresh, or stale pre-ground decaf mixed with really good fresh ground whole coffee.
Right.
So
I don't think I've ever actually had straight decaf before, but I was raised to consider it blasphemous and have never touched it.
It's not bad. It's still coffee. It just doesn't taste the same. Half calf is much better. Because decaf coffee has just a little bit of the coffee bitterness to it, but really nothing else. None of the nuances. Anyway. The hard drive library, we just got this one, which is aluminum beams and flexible framework. So we can get steel beams from 3 aluminum ingots. 3 to 3. As a reminder, 1 steel beam costs 4 steel ingots, or 9 of them with 16 what is it? 16 concrete. There we go. There's the word. 16 concrete and 24 iron.
Yeah.
So that 9 divided, or sorry, 24 divided by 9. That's 2.6 repeating steel per beam, but it's also 16, which is a little bit less than 2 per beam of the concrete. So it's more resources,
but it produces much faster.
It does.
I think the molded beam we've got now is going to be the best bet.
Yeah.
Just because of the sheer volume of production we'll need for it.
And also, the aluminum is used in so many other things that diverting 3 aluminum ingots away might actually be a significant amount of our production.
Yeah.
Enough that it will limit us on other things. Now, we did talk about having the flexible framework before.
Yeah, because that did come up before. That is useful. Because we will be needing the flexible frameworks in the more advanced projects. What's the current recipe? 1 to 2, but 12. So this basically assembles faster, takes half as much steel, and adds rubber.
Yeah.
I think that's because it's saving half the steel. That alone is good enough. But it does require a manufacturer instead of an assembler.
And the other problem is, it costs rubber.
Yeah, which isn't a big issue.
Maybe, but we also have a lot of plastic being used for computer parts. We've mitigated that somewhat.
Yes.
With the electrode circuit board we've got here available, which uses rubber. Okay. I think we'll hold on to this then. The flexible framework. We'll start scanning another hard drive. And while that's doing, we can go ahead and start playing the bass. Let me actually connect all of this. The power poles.
Yeah.
Let me extend
Use
the
the,
power poles.
Okay, Goku.
Yeah, so I'm going to use the Mark IIs.
Actually, why don't we use the zipline friendly poles?
Wait, the zipline friendly poles?
Yeah.
Ah, the skyhook power poles.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, the only problem with that is I wanted to do a grid.
Well, you can take lines off of it to form the rest of the grid, but for going along the central bus, the skyhook poles might be useful for fast travel from end to end.
Got a point. Okay.
Because each skyhook pole has 5 connections. Which is more than the Mark I poles. So if you're making a grid, that'll work perfectly.
I was originally going to do V2 for that very reason. I think what I want to do, I want to do the V2s anyway. And change the ones that are along the side here into skyhook. Because we've kind of planned out that this middle part here is where we want the bus to be, between these two poles. It doesn't have to be exactly at this belt's marker point. This is just a general marker point where the main bus is going to be. It's probably going to be way wider than that, and taller.
Oh yeah.
So, if we want to turn these into skyhook power poles, that go down the length of the entire thing. But then, oops. Yes, that is correct. Alright, so we have these connected here. And then we'll extend these skyhook power poles all the way down in both directions on both sides, so that we have a way to quickly zip line or zap line down through the main bus. But for the rest of the grid, the power grid, I want to use V2s so that we have plenty of connections to branch off with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'll work really well.
Yeah. That will.
Skyhook power pole, power line.
And that's kind of what I had meant. Not to use the skyhooks for the entire grid, but just along the bus.
Okay. Now, as far as building the actual base, do we want to have, like, basic material production on one level and then the next tier up? Do something like that?
Usually, at least what we do, it's all on one tier, but we manufacture each item completely from start to finish in a segment. Like, we get the raw materials or the first stage of materials in on the main bus and then produce from there. Like, we'd have all the smelting and first level manufacturing down on the ground level and pipe up things like ingots and processed concrete and the basic building blocks used for everything, basically. We put that on the bus.
Okay. Kind of sounds like a little bit like what I had envisioned of, like, taking what you need off the bus for every individual thing and then putting it back on the bus. So you have, you basically have a conveyor belt for every individual item.
Precisely. Well, yeah.
So there would be a conveyor belt taking, you know, iron ingots and iron poles and iron plates and reinforced iron plates. They'd all have their place on the bus. Unless it's something that literally only goes into one other thing, like the multiple steps of what's it called? Aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
So that would all go on within the aluminum production area and not go on the main bus at all because it has no use outside of aluminum production.
Precisely.
Similarly, the oil, the heavy oil residue would not have a pipeline going along the main bus because it's going to be used up in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
Did I count that right? Yes. 6. 4, 5. Oh. Okay. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Maybe I don't want to do that. No, you definitely want to stop if you get to here. You definitely want to stop. I'm not going to put a wall here because we might want to extend it out, but I'm definitely going to put a... Not going to put a skyhook pole because you don't want to go careening off the edge here.
Yeah, no.
Although, I mean, I could if I wanted to. Just I have this. But if for any reason I didn't have it equipped, I would definitely not want that.
Mm-hmm.
So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah. There, I want to do it this way. Try to be on that side of the intersection. You know, it's kind of funny. You can have them right next to each other like this, or for up and down.
Yep.
So, not gonna do that, but it is something to think about. Oh, I positioned it wrong. No. Okay. There. Now it's correct. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. That's cocked. There we go. 6. Why is it off center?
What do you mean, why is it off center?
And this is like one off. Where did it get messed up? Here.
Oh, I see.
Okay. And over here. And then over here. Okay. My human has been delivered dinner. It's
Yay,
late.
noms.
I'm not going to punish him. But I will take a short break.
Break time.
Give me about 5 minutes to let him know. And we are back. My human has been fed. And there is the makings of a bus here. Which is great. I like seeing that. And it's right in line with the power poles too, which is just great. Very efficient. I'm sure Ada is happy about that. Ada wants us to be efficient. Because humanity needs us.
Maximum efficiency.
Though these are not evenly spaced apart.
They indeed are not.
Which I don't mind, but... I'm evenly spacing the power poles so we can kind of plot out, based on how many of these we need to tear down, how big the construction, the area that we're making something in is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
How many squares of 6x6? Well, 5x5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 6x6. I thought it was going to be 5x5, but no, I count 6 each time I scooch over. I thought that was accounting for the extra room. So, really need to get a better mouse pad. You position it just right. You position the mouse just right on here, and it starts going jerk, 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 and it just goes up and to the left for no apparent reason.
Have you tried calibrating your mouse? Can you calibrate your mouse?
It is not that kind of problem. It is a mouse pad problem with something like a stain or something on there, reflecting the optics poorly. That makes it think it's moving when it's not.
Well, you need a new pad. Or to clean that one.
My human doesn't want to clean this pad. It's associated with the company he doesn't work for anymore. And he'd rather have an anime pad, really.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Alright. So, I'm going to go ahead and spread the power grid out. And I'm going to do that with pole Mark II. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's here. I have to say I'm glad that we're expanding out in this direction, because there's a big wide open nothing here that we can expand south into, and it won't matter. And honestly, the stuff over basically everything south of where we are currently, of where the mega base is currently, we can just keep going south until we hit the build limit, and it's fine. that does mean that the bus would either have to be remade north to south or just turn, or everything would have to get piped further away. But
there is actually a solution for that I will be implementing as needed.
Ah, okay.
Look at that glorious bus. There's no belts on it yet, but it's still glorious.
It is.
Oh. Well, I'm a frickin' derp.
Hmm? Why are you derping? Is that in your contract, or Armored Waffles allowed to derp?
Yes, they are. Because we can correct our derps. I made the bus one stack too far to one side.
Ah. I see.
That's an easy fix, just a little time consuming.
Oh, I see. You're trying to go directly in between the two power poles.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Luckily, these things aren't direction dependent, so it doesn't matter if I rotate them.
Good. Uh-oh. Got off center again. Where? How?
I love blueprints.
Maybe I should do one.
If you're doing a lot of...
I'm doing a lot of repetitive work and I'm getting it wrong.
The only real advantage of blueprints is when you're doing assemblages of structures, like multiple buildings in a single spot.
I see. Yeah, the blueprints in Dyson Sphere program are definitely better.
Yeah,
because
let me see something real quick.
Instead of it doesn't really limit you so much to the area, as long as it's all in the same latitude line.
Mm-hmm.
Because the planet's curve, they have latitude and longitude lines, and because there's a different number of squares in any given latitude, you can't take those built between latitudes.
Mm-hmm.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double check my work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in between, yes. Okay. And this time I'm not going to even count, I'm just going to line it up. It's easier that way. I don't get it wrong as often. I counted it out correctly one time, and that's all I need, because I can just eyeball it the rest of the time. That's why I build them on the intersection. as long as it's centered between 4 panels on the corners of the 4 panels.
Speaking of, before you get too terribly far with that construction work, come take a look at this. Tell me what you think.
Still takes a while to zoom over there.
Yes, it does.
I think the zap line is faster.
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
We can remove the poles in the middle. That was just an aesthetic experiment.
I like it.
But having the zap lines, whatever, attached to the bus supports, at least makes it easier to measure out.
Okay.
And that's still centered.
Do you think that's wide enough?
Yes.
And there's room for pipes as well in the middles.
Yep. Anytime we do need liquids, anyway.
Which would be mainly water, crude oil, and nitrogen. Nitrogen doesn't need pumps. Water would need pumps. Crude oil is only going to go to one place, so we don't really need a place for on the bus so much as we need to take it from the train that it's coming in on and route it to our oil processing. Which we already have set up over there, and we don't need to move that train.
Most anything that would need liquid along the main manufacturing has a way to create that fluid without piping in liquid aside from water.
Right.
So I think the only thing we really need piped along the main bus as a liquid is water.
You're right, because like sulfuric acid would be water and sulfur, and the nitric acid would be nitrogen and water, I think. So really,
and worst case, we can always also bottle everything.
You have a point. Thankfully, we won't need to do that with the fuel or the oil residue or anything, because that processing area is all over there and doesn't need to be moved.
Precisely.
I do like this setup. It would just require changing all the zap line points, or just making this wider to coincide with the current zap line points.
Where did... Yoink. Mark 1. Mark 2. There we go. So that... 1, 2 from center. That should do. Oh, that actually lines up perfectly. I am glad. So yeah, that is moving the zap line points, but I think it meshes up nicely.
Okay. Okay. So do you want me to change how I'm measuring the cubes, or just leave it?
I think we'll need to change if we want everything to line up nicely. But it shouldn't be too much of a hassle. Should it? I'll handle setting up the zap lines, so you don't gotta worry about it.
Okay, that's not a problem. It's just that I measured everything out kind of already. but it's not too hard to change. It's going to be a lot harder to change later than it would be now. I've barely done any work compared to how large this grid needs to be. It's probably going to take me the better part of a half hour just to build the grid.
I crashed.
Oh dear. I saw your, like, build targeting thing just frozen in place. And then as soon as it said that you logged out, as soon as I heard the noise, it vanished. That's kind of funny.
Bloop.
I feel like we need to fix all of the stuff clipping through the floor of our base.
Yeah, we'll be working on that once we start getting things up top set up more properly.
Yeah. Some of it is stuff from the factory that we're going to be moving. Some of it is power poles, like the big ones.
Yep.
And I think we're gonna have to move those up top. I think what we can probably do is we can go, like, see how far the heavy power line stretches between the power towers, and like
it stretches across the entire mega base practically.
That's what I was gonna say. See if we can get it stretched across the entire mega base, so we can go from one end to the other and drop off anywhere in between. And because we've got the hover pack, we've got power on the whole base, and we can literally drop anywhere we want. The zap line here is nice, but we could zap line across the heavy power lines from end to end and have kind of the same effect. Though we'd probably only have them at the corners of the base, unless we needed one in the middle for some reason.
Yep.
And if we need power on something underneath the base, we can easily just pull it from the grid here.
Yep.
Alright, so you're gonna be reconstructing this. And this is 1, 2, no, just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 2, 3, 4. 7 by 4. So here's the question. I think I just answered it. I don't want to make it 4 by 4. I want to make it 7 by 7. Thank you very much. I'll place fewer towers that way. I think that's a better idea.
Yes.
So from the middle here, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, line up. It should. It doesn't. Why does it not line up? Oh, that's because I'm looking at the wrong thing. It does line up, actually. No, it doesn't. Ugh. Aligning everything is a pain. Wait. This isn't even. This isn't evenly spaced.
What isn't?
The space between these two is short. This is 6 between.
So I see. This will be the center point then. Because I placed each of these down at the points of the first conveyor belt.
Ah, I see.
So it is flush end to end, so...
Okay. So, this little 6 by 4 in the middle is where the middle of the conveyor belt is going to be.
Roughly. I mean, it's longer towards one end than the other, but we can keep expanding that other direction, too.
Okay. So, how do I mark... I guess I'm going to mark this with...
A power tower.
Yeah, I can mark out the power tower.
Right in the middle.
No, I don't want to put it in the middle because then all the lines will go through it. It'll clip.
Hold on a sec. This is one of those occasions.
Ah. Okay, that's useful.
Foundations, 1 meter.
Ah, we're gonna put it up on top.
Yep.
Alright. Let's nudge this so it's centered. I can't nudge it so it's centered. Oh, wait. Tiny adjustment. I love this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Go farther.
Oh, I can see by the little holes in the middle. It can't be centered. It literally can't be centered between 4.
It should be.
I try. Left Alt.
Yeah, the initial placement. You got a tiny nudge out of place. One more towards me. Or 2 more, rather.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay. So now... nudge that way. And that's centered.
Yep.
Perfect. Oh. Good. I was like, oh no, it's going the wrong way. No, it's not. There's 2 layers.
It can go both ways. Both
Exactly.
ways. Excuse me.
Yes, it can go both ways.
There is no Captain Wrong Way Peach Fuzz here.
What?
There is no Captain Wrong Way Peach Fuzz here.
What is that a reference to?
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Okay. I'm not going to question it.
This building right here is what we would call a distribution hub. It's where all the belts from the main bus can go in and combine and entangle however you want them to. And be nicely hidden so you don't have to look at it.
I agree. The main point there is be nicely hidden so you don't have to look at it.
Yep. But we do need to unlock conveyor belt walls.
Conveyor belt
or
walls?
It'll just look like... Yeah. That is in the awesome shop.
Oh, no, we don't have conveyor belt walls. You're right.
Yep.
You're right. I'm used to having those by default because we unlocked them like the very first time we got coupons in a single player game. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put it in this corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. I didn't think about that.
Yep, I crashed.
Jeez.
Something to do with the skyhook power lines, I think.
Do you want me to make those?
No, I got it. It's just interesting.
That...
It's either something to do with the blueprints or the skyhook lines. Because it's what happens is I'm crashing every time I go into deconstruct mode and pass over one of the placed blueprints.
Huh. So, like, passing over the stackable conveyor poles here?
Yeah. Because if you hit R while in deconstruct, it'll highlight the entire stack.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
I was trying to see if it would crash me, but no, it doesn't. That's interesting.
It might be a time spent thing.
Well, let's hope it doesn't crash at all for me.
Yeah.
It could be a multiplayer error as well.
Let's try that again, shall we? Instead of connecting a power line to the power pole, it built another power pole on top of the power pole.
Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not making them to line up with the other power poles. I'm making them to line up with the stacks.
Yep. I will be relieving this confusion problem momentarily.
Oh, don't worry, I got it. I've just had to reorient from lining up with the poles to lining up with the other poles.
Oh god. As I'm flying along, my decorative wrench on my build gun is flailing every which way. I wonder if that's what's causing the crashes.
You see what charm I have on mine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that might be my problem. I'm not supposed to have a wrench. I'm supposed to have a different decoration. I think I need to go back to the hub.
I have the golden nut.
Yep. For satisfactory performance. Oh no, I do have the wrench selected, but no, I want the gold star, because Because I'm special.
No. If you're special, you need a snowflake.
Oh, but there is no snowflake.
Exactly.
Makes me sad. I want a snowflake now. Up. Big. Hot dog.
Hmm? It's kind of weird that I'm not able to connect to the power lines. It's odd.
They may not be getting power yet?
You're right. Maybe they aren't, because I'm connecting them to this. But maybe this isn't connected.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm gonna make sure that these power lines back here are connected by doing one of these. There. So now, as long as I'm connected to one of these things, it should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, I was saying something about 4 corners earlier. You know, there's a place called 4 Corners?
Mm-hmm. I've been there.
Oh, cool. Well, apparently so is Sorted. Oh. That's weird. Why is this not connected to anything? What is going on?
Because none of that grid is connected yet.
But it can't... Oh.
Mm-hmm.
The big power tower there isn't connected. Duh.
Yep, I will take care of that in a moment.
Nah, that's fine. No.
And you...
Oh no, that's not what I want to do. I did the same thing as you and made one on top of another one by mistake. What I was saying about Sorted, they're a British food tuber network.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they went to Four Corners and had each member plan a vacation for the other 3 in a particular state. Each one of them was assigned a state and had to do the research and planning for a 40-hour vacation in that state. And they'd be rated on how good they did and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting, since they're all food people and some of them are chefs.
You should have power now.
I do. Thank you. That's amazing. The difference is huge. Oh. It's still giving out. Why is it still giving out? The entire network should be connected.
Interesting. It is not. Oh, I see why. I shall fix this. Okay, so you lot need to be off for the moment. Heavy you. No. Heavy. There. Down to the center of that. Okay, now the whole tower is connected. And from there... Please tell me we have ceiling. We do not. Okay. Down to... E. No. Okay, just for temporary, I will do that. Now you should have power over there. Oh wait, yes you should.
I do. I just placed one, and my hover pack power thing shot up.
There you go.
And I'm connecting to each one as I pass it, so it works properly.
Good.
7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Put that here. It's off center slightly. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That perfectly reaches the edge. How wonderful. Oh, this is going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Rock right in the middle of our base.
Lovely.
Terrain is not fully destructible.
Nope.
I can see somebody going, terrain is not fully destructible. 0 out of 10 would not play again. It's like, who has fully destructible terrain in a factory building game?
Mods.
I would worry about mods that can do that, because that's changing the structure of the map, and that can lead to some very weird bugs.
Oh, yes.
That can lead to some absolutely save-breaking bugs. That's akin to using a console command to delete bedrock in Minecraft. With similarly disastrous results and people falling into the void all the time.
Oh yes, zipline is definitely faster.
Yeah.
Than sprinting with the hover pack.
I think zipline normal speed is as fast, and then sprinting is faster. While on zipline.
Bonk.
I hear the dreaded kitties. You know, it's kind of funny that people boil down animal sounds to an onomatopoeia.
Mm-hmm.
But they're so much more complex than that.
They really are.
Have you heard a fox? Because
yes,
it does not go yerf yerf. It doesn't go bark bark. They make all sorts of like weird whimpering whining sounds that are adorable and
bickering.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a hyena chuckling, but different and way cuter. We are way cuter than hyenas. No offense to hyenas in the chat, but seriously, come on.
What about
fox noises?
Fox hyena crosses.
Oh, and that would be interesting to see. Or
Clever
even
and ruthless.
Or even if we were going the Pathfinder route, a Kitsune Knoll cross. That would be a thing to see. You can do that too.
No sune.
No sune. Okay, yes.
Alright, let's see. How many tickets do we have? 42. What a perfect time to check. For a total of 189. I'm going to buy some aesthetics. Management. We have all those.
But you can actually do a Knoll Sune.
Mm-hmm.
They have something called...
I forgot about these. Streetlights.
Ooh, cool.
We're gonna need those.
Yeah. Like I was saying, is they have mixed heritage. Oops, that was a little too close. They have a mixed heritage selection in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, where you just select 2 races and boom, you're a combination of those. You can take ancestry feats from both. None of this, like, half elf, half this, always mixed with human. Now, you can just be like, I want to be a half elf, half orc. There.
Orc.
Now, that'd be an orf. And orc elf would be an orf.
Orf, orf.
Now I'm imagining an elf orc gunslinger just coming around the corner going, orf, orf, mother. Hand cannon. Let's see here. Factory ladder. Definitely need those. Okay. I'm doing pretty good on this grid building.
Alright, we just got a whole bunch of new build options.
Awesome.
But unfortunately, we only have 18 tickets left now.
Whoa, you spent that many?
I got dozens upon dozens of building options, though.
Well, that would do it.
We have wall outlet Mark 1 and 2, which also gives us the double wall outlets. We have skyhook wall mounts now.
Mm-hmm.
We have wall terminators for power towers.
Oh.
Oh no, that's not new. Neither are those. Let's see. Power. Is that under... Where is that? Logistics? We have clean versions of the pipeline if you don't want to have the indicators on them. We have an entirely new category of pipeline junctions of all sorts of different directions.
Oh, that's going to be real helpful.
Including a pipeline balancer, which lets you balance two independent pipelines.
Ooh.
We have pipeline wall and floor holes and wall supports.
Wait, so the pipeline balancer, that would be like if you have two pipelines of the same fluid and you want to balance between them?
Yes.
That's cool.
Under organization, we now have street, ceiling, flood, wall-mounted, and light control panels. Basically, what you do is you set up the lights on a separate circuit and then provide power through the light control panel. And the light control panel will let you change the color and brightness of all the connected lights.
That's really cool.
The
Is
ceiling
that
lights
base
will be
game?
especially... yeah, that is, actually.
Wow.
The ceiling lights will be especially useful for illuminating the floor underneath the mega base.
Oh, yeah. This is gonna be dark down there. If this was Minecraft, boy, all the monsters would be spawning down there.
Bruce. I also went ahead and unlocked the hazard storage box. We have half foundations, corner ramps, double ramps, and inverted ramps now. And stairs. Excuse me. We also have the half pipe and quarter pipe foundations, which will be useful for making train tunnels. As far as walls, we have the concrete and steel skins. We also have 1, 2, and 3 conveyor walls. We have ramp walls, which is good for angled roofs. Inverted ramp walls. Tilted walls. Corner walls. Windows. 2 different ones. Window walls, which will have the same outer texture and color as our base walls. And framed windows, which will have more window space. And we also have all of the automated doors and gates as well.
You talk as if we're going to be enclosing this mega base in some way. I don't see the point.
No. The hubs, though. The distribution hubs.
Ah, I see. When we want to section it off for organization's sake.
Yep.
Because, as the great Alton Brown said, organization will set you free.
Interesting.
One of the smartest men I've ever had the pleasure of binge watching. Okay, I'm just double checking my work over here. It looks like I have all of the power poles up in the places they're supposed to be. And they're all connected except for like a couple I'm finding here and there. Just making sure that they're the ones in the middle are all connected on all 4 sides. Of course, we can take that down as we need to. There's no worry about that. I want
There it is.
to have a nice aligned grid for, again, organization purposes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we also, for the purposes of building and not necessarily enclosing things, we have beams, pillars, frames, and roofs. And railing for safety.
Safety.
Yeah.
Who needs that?
Like, so you don't, like, walk off the end of the... make a base into the abyss.
I mean, this is FicSit we're talking about.
It's inefficient to die.
I mean, you have a point? It would be inconvenient to make humanity send a replacement.
Right.
Okay. Is this correct? Yeah, it looks correct to me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unfortunately, your blueprint builder thing is not positioned centrally.
No, it was kind of a... I just needed to place it down quickly. That is not its final location.
Okay, I won't worry about it then. I'm just kind of building over it a little bit.
That's fine.
Alright, so we should...
That is big.
Hmm?
That is very big.
What is?
Look behind you. Or to your left, rather. Oh, it's not rendering yet.
Over by you?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's turned sideways.
Oh. Is that the half pipe?
No, this is arch 32 meters open. So this is a big construction block for things like railway.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That is big. I like that.
So if we want to fine-tune like the train stuff over longer distances, we have these to work with now.
Yeah. I will say it would be really nice if they could somehow work in the ability to chop out pieces of the terrain with a tunneling device for trains to go through instead of making us pull them through the sky.
Technically, you can do that.
It's just a clip.
Yeah.
This is the problem. Is that it clips, and then, like, what if you're riding in it? It lets you clip, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you're in the train, it will let you clip. And what you can do is...
That makes me wonder what happens if you try to exit the train while it's clipping.
Nothing. You get out of the train. And if you don't have something to stand on, you fall through the world.
That sounds very much like a 1.0.
Yep. But if you have a start point and an end point in a straight line, you can zoop a rail and you can build a tunnel around it so that when you're going through it, it at least looks like it's a proper tunnel.
You know, that's true.
It just takes a bit of work to get done.
It doesn't function like a proper tunnel, but it looks like one, and that's good enough.
Mm-hmm. It is efficient enough.
One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Goes right here. And there is... this is the Caterium spot. That's why I'm running into this foundation. Here?
Mm-hmm. That can be picked up, removed, relocated, if you want. Or just minimized.
A good chunk of it I'm gonna pick up and get rid of, because there's no reason to have it there right now. And this is where I stop, because past there is stuff I can't go through.
Ah, right. It's time to do that fix. I want heavy from you. down to here.
Flying around like an angel with a chainsaw. Wow, that got no reaction. You must be busy.
Sorry, yes. I need wall outlet mark 1.
You've watched Chainsaw Man, but have you watched Chainsaw Kitsune?
No. I haven't actually seen Chainsaw Man.
Neither have I. You would think that the Kitsune and the Japan nerd would be more up on anime, but actually not really. The last anime we watched and are determined to finish before we watch any other anime is Rising of the Shield Hero. And the reason for that is very simple. Rising the Shield Hero is wonderful, and Raftalia is best girl ever. I'm sorry, but you give me a sword-wielding, Wah Mimi? Yes?
That just sounds adorable.
Yeah. A red panda eared and tailed character.
Yep.
Is just adorable, and also probably I'm gonna say it, and you can fight me, more badass than Asuna from SAO.
I will not fight you on this. Asuna will fight you on this.
Oh dear.
Okay, so you connect there. You there. You there. And you there. Now I can pick up that cable. There we go. Grid is still fully powered. You can take a look at the distribution center, the way I got the cable set up.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. It just needs a light or two.
Yeah. I will take care of that, since we just unlocked them. That is under organization, ceiling lights. Oh, I forgot how big the ceiling lights were.
Oh dear. How big, how big, how big? Oh wow. Yeah.
They take up, 2 of them will take up 3 foundations. So, this actually works quite nicely. I can do a sort of a 3x3. Nope. Okay. I'll just do 2 then.
I was gonna say could you nudge it so they're perfectly overlapping?
That might be doable, but I think we'll be just fine with just a pair.
Yeah, I agree. there. Nice. And now that little central thing is full.
Yep. No light color controls on that, but that's fine. I don't think we need it for this. Oh, and now that I can, we need...
It's just kind of interesting that it's completely and totally dark unless it's directly under the lights. There's no... Like, it's so sharp here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. No, I don't need flashlight. I need that. Walls. Conveyor wall X3.
There's an interesting housing update coming in Final Fantasy XIV.
There we go. Yeah?
You're going to be able to finally purchase a larger house.
Nice! About frickin' time.
So, they have a thing where you can buy a... Like, you can buy a large house. There have to be large houses available in the district. But those always get snapped up, and they're really expensive and everything. So, they came up with a cool solution. In addition to being able to, which you can currently do, change the layout of your interior to that of a different interior than the one you currently are, your house is. So, like, for example, if you wanted to have a house in Ishgard, because you liked the interior design of those houses, but you weren't lucky enough to get one of those, but you still have a house, let's say, like in the Oasis, you could... Sorry, the Goblet. It's called the Goblet. It is an oasis, basically, in Ul'dah. But you can choose to make your interior styled after Ishgard. It will not change the outside of your house. It will not change anything about the size of your house, but it will change the interior look. They also have a minimalist design that removes all pillars and makes it very like bare inside, so that you can put basically the interior's walls and stuff will not clip into anything you'd want to put on them. Very minimalist, so you can put full effort into just designing what you want to be there.
Neat.
The change that's coming is the ability to also pay extra gil in the amount of the difference between the price of your current size house and the size that you want it to be, and change the interior size only. You can basically TARDIS your house. It is larger on the inside than it should be on the for its outside, which is very interesting because a big complaint has been how there are not enough big houses, or how like free companies will buy a small free company house but they're too big and they need more room, but they don't have the ability because there's not enough big houses. Now that's not a problem. The only thing that you're limited on with size after this update is going to be the outside and the position of where your house is within the district. So if you don't care about having a big show on outside your house, you can just pay for a bigger interior and leave it at that. Most people are going to be content. Now the next step on that then is being able to pay for a bigger interior for your apartment, because there are apartment buildings in each district as well that have no exterior but have a small interior. Now, if you could pay for a larger interior on an apartment, then if you don't care about having outdoors, there would be absolutely no reason for you to worry about the housing situation. But I believe the apartments can even fill up. So what they need to do is they need to be able to make apartments, infinite somehow, so that everyone on the server can have an apartment and it'd be fine. And no matter how large those are, it's fine. Because it's all instanced and it's not even active or loaded in server memory unless you're in it actively. But I don't know how they're going to manage that, if they're even going to try to manage that. The only thing that's confirmed right now is that they are doing the upgradable interior size limit. And that it's currently, I believe it's only for if you own a actual full house. Which, not ideal, but it's better than nothing. And it's a step in the right direction, too.
Oh, definitely.
It's certainly a step in the direction of Final Fantasy XI. Which, believe it or not, is actually getting... they're actually doing a discounted subscription.
Oh.
You can get a discount on your subscription if you subscribe to 11 while you have an active 14 account.
Huh. Hello.
And I think that might be a test for if this is something they want to have happen. No, it's not a discount, sorry. I think it's like a month free, or no, 2 weeks free or something. I don't know if it's a discount. I have to double check my news, but they're doing something in the vein of giving you some free time to play 11 if you already play 14. I think it might be a test for a permanent discount of if you play 14, it costs you less to play 11 too, which that. They're not. I don't think they're ever going to make it included in the 14 subscription because they're different services. But it would be nice to have a discount if you bundle them together. And it would get more people to subscribe to 11 and make it live longer.
Definitely.
Because believe it or not, it is still alive. They have had quite a bit more content since the last full expansion launch. And I say last as in they will never have another one. But a lot more content has been released. Much of it free. And it's seeing a bit of a resurgence. You can almost say it's a voracious resurgence. Yes, that's the name of one of the DLCs. But, I've actually considered getting back into it, and, like, doing something, like, streaming it, but the problem with that is 11 takes a lot of time, and it's a separate subscription. And I don't know if there's enough interest, especially on this channel, to warrant doing it. Plus, my humans' time is limited.
Yeah. Well, that works nicely. We'll do that then.
Although I'll say it's interesting that I've gotten a lot of people to watch my streams of Honkai Star Rail.
Nice.
I was kind of surprised at how well that last one did. There's going to be a lot more Final Fantasy XIV in the future, though. The next patch is going to have the exploration zone. Oh man, I'm excited about that. Crescent Island from Final Fantasy V. is going to make an appearance in Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh.
It is going to be... I don't know if it's going to be called Crescent Island in 14, or if it's going to be called the Occult Crescent. It's one of those two names, but it is basically inspired by Crescent Island, which should be very obvious because it has a ton of job art, like art of the jobs from Final Fantasy V, including like showing Bart's as a freelancer and stuff, and that's because they're gonna have a job system like in 5 where you can pick up a job and learn abilities from it and then carry those abilities to other jobs. It looks really fun. Eureka had its own leveling system, and that was really popular, so they're taking that idea and just running with it with a whole new set of jobs.
Nice.
And those are all in addition to the job you go in as. So if you go in as a warrior, you can equip like Cannoneer or Berserker or whatever, in addition to all of your warrior actions. So that's going to make some really funky combinations. But the reason I'm excited about that is because that will be something I can stream routinely.
Hi.
And which actually might be fun to stream weekly. Because it's going to be a long, not repetitive, but kind of grindy thing. So it's kind of the same thing over and over, but it's interesting because the exact the way it plays out is not the same, and you do earn progress. So it's kind of a bit like streaming weekly clears of stuff, but instead of just getting a piece of loot, you're getting progress towards the completing the story of the area or completing a weapon. So I think it would be something fun to stream weekly.
Yeah.
And there's also the equivalent for crafters, which is going to be Cosmic Exploration. And that is that's going to be a thing that you can do as a crafter / gatherer, that earns you progress towards building like a moon base, I guess. And that sounds cool. And of course, since it's a moon base, the Loporrits are going to be involved. There's even a heavy suggestion that we're going to get Naming Way. The Loporrits are all named like this way, that way. Like Living Way is the leader of the Loporrits. Well, in the original in Final Fantasy IV, there was Naming Way, and there's a heavy hint from Yoshi P that Naming Way will be this involved in the new thing in Cosmic Exploration, because they showed a Loporrit with Naming Way's exact outfit from 4. And he's like, I wonder which way this could be. Please look forward to it. Like, yes, you're not being subtle.
Subtlety? Nah.
I mean, this is a man who plays Black Mage. What need has Black Mage of being subtle?
Truth.
Oh, this is going to be a right bastard to try and line up. I don't care if that's even. It's on the grass. It's not even. It doesn't matter. The grid is even enough.
Even enough is all that matters. Even when it comes to peak efficiency.
It does not affect efficiency in a negative way, nor a positive way.
It just does not.
This is completely aesthetics. Alright. I feel like that's a good enough grid. I've been building this for quite a while.
Yeah. It works.
I don't know how much we're actually going to do over here right next to the train stations. We might not need this area for anything, or not for a while.
Yeah.
So, let's get going on moving some basic production up here, shall we?
Sure.
When they say we start at the bottom, start at the base and work our way up with copper and iron.
The thing is that we're gonna just want to put copper ingots and iron ingots directly onto the main bus.
Yeah.
And then whatever we want to make production-wise after that.
Okay. So, do we want to maybe... So, here's what I'm thinking. We either need to be prepared for a boatload of overload and inventories and maybe grinding while we disassemble all of this crap, or we need to stop everything's production and let it run out. Because we have a lot of stuff down here, and if we're going to move all of this, we're going to have to disassemble it somehow.
Yeah, we're gonna want to start by setting up the production up top before we disassemble anything down here, so that instead of brain.
It's less about downtime and making sure that we don't have to disassemble a whole bunch of stuff and have chests and chests and chests full of stuff we can't hold.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. So, we need to dedicate an area to...
We also don't want to stop production on most of the materials because we're going to need those materials to build.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like it's not going to be too big of an issue, but maybe it's bigger of an issue than I realized, and I would only realize it if I'd made that mistake.
Yeah.
So
I have made that mistake, so you've got that at least.
So do we want to designate an area for ore smelting? Pump all of our ore to that area and not the main bus, and then put the ingots on the main bus.
You can also have multiple areas for smelting and just individually pipe the outputs onto the main bus. Depends on how centralized each mining segment is. Like, over here at the main base, yeah, everything's close enough together we can put it all into one location.
The only thing is that a lot of the remote locations that are mining stuff, I just have it bringing the ore over.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I really want to I don't think I want to smelt it on site at each of the miners and then pump the ingots up here, especially because we might want to process the ingots with water.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to have that option.
And that is where the difference comes in. Like, if we're doing a more advanced production method, then we are going to need to centralize it to make the additional resources that is going to require easier to get to the locations. Let's see. Currently, parts for iron ore. Ooh, we don't have the pure iron ingots yet.
Oh, I completely forgot about the,
I think oh, no, the cat's just... Excuse me a second. I need to, eliminate something.
Okay. Sounded like an uninvited guest in the house.
No. The cats are fighting, and they leapt on the back of my monitor stand, knocking all my monitors around.
Ooh.
And cutting the connection to my graphics card, almost crashing my computer.
Oh dear. Holy crap!
Hmm?
Alternate steel screw.
We need that.
1 steel beam. 52 screws.
Mm-hmm. For a total of 260 per minute. Compared to what? Our other one is 50 per minute? Yeah. That is one of the best uses of the main bus. We produce a lot of steel, and so all we need is one tiny little steel to make a shit ton of screws.
5 per minute. 5 beams per minute. And you get 260 screws out of it. That's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that right now.
Yep.
Man.
I might as well get that pure copper ingot and some of the other stuff we've been holding on to.
Pure Caterium ingot. Because we're going to process Caterium with that as well, I believe.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to do pure quartz crystal as well. Or no, not pure quartz crystal. Alternate quartz purification. Because that lets us... that's a use for our nitric acid, and that gives us dissolved silica, which helps us get silica out, which is the other thing you can make with quartz. So we get crystals and silica at the same time.
Yep.
Just with one more step. So I'm going to take this. Pure copper. Oh, no. No, I can't take pure copper again. We have to take the electrode circuit.
Because the alternate is the electrode circuit that we need. So electrode circuit first. Wait. That requires coke?
It does.
Hmm.
It requires petroleum coke and rubber. It's almost pure
Oh,
petroleum.
we've already got the silicon circuit board.
Right.
We don't need the electrode.
We don't. We need pure copper ingot instead.
Yes.
There we go. And lastly, we want the instant scrap, because although we have to make sulfuric acid for it and use coal for it, it skips an entire set of machines for aluminum scrap.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of steps. And it produces almost as much water as it brings in. So it's very low on the amount of water you need. Actually, it produces as much water as the sulfuric acid takes to make. So we can kind of loop.
You still just need to pipe in water.
We still need to pipe in water, but we only need to pipe in 6 per minute worth. The water that makes the sulfuric acid, we can have the production from this loop back into and feed that. So we only need a little bit to start it. And once it's started, then we can keep it infinitely running with the same water.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually pretty cool. So we definitely want this.
A lot more useful than the polymer resin.
Oh, yeah.
Or we can rescan that drive.
No, I don't want to rescan, because this is too good a recipe to pass up.
Okay, let's get it.
And heavy oil residue, we decided on this because we wanted to be able to make it directly from crude oil.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives us more heavy oil residue than we would get otherwise. And it gives us some polymer resin as a byproduct, which we can use with water to make residual plastic or residual rubber or polyester fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So, lots of options there.
Yep.
And then we don't need the aluminum beam, but we do want the flexible framework.
Yes.
Okay. And we were going to go for the plastic AI limiter, I think. On this one?
Yeah, because the tempered copper ingot is not as good as the pure copper, which we just got.
Yep. And for this one, iron wire or compacted steel ingot. We don't have a pure steel ingot, I don't think.
What are our steel options currently?
Coke steel, solid steel, and regular.
Right, we were gonna start doing the coke steel because of how fast that produces.
Yeah, this compacted steel is 10 per minute. It's very efficient, but its production rate is ass.
Yeah.
So let's do the coke steel ingot, and that means we can take the iron wire here.
Yep.
We have the fused wire recipe.
The iron wire.
I think we should just keep this here to eliminate these two from ever appearing again. Because we don't really want either one of them. So just don't select them.
Yeah. At least at the moment, yeah.
And
so grab the plastic limiter and we finish scanning the hard drives.
Yeah. Well, the only thing about that is, what is that? The plastic limiter doesn't really help us that much. It produces more per minute. It produces 8 instead of 5, but it costs us more quick wire, and it costs us plastic.
No. The original recipe is 20 quick wire per limiter. The plastic is 30 per 2 limiters, so it's actually 15 wire per limiter.
Okay. And it's 7
so you're
plastic.
Saving a little bit on that.
It's 7 plastic per 2 limiters instead of 10 copper sheets per 2 limiters.
Yeah. So you're swapping the plastic, or swapping the copper for plastic, and using less wire, and producing faster. So I think that might actually be really good.
You're right, and we are going to need plastic. We're going to need AI limiters, so we'll go with that. Alright, so I got 4 minutes on the next drive, and I believe I have 2 more still. Because of that incredible run I did.
Oh, right. Leached iron ingot.
Leached iron
That was That was one of the things we were looking at. Oh, that's one of the alternate recipes we have, but it's kind of expensive. It would be much better if we can unlock the pure iron ingot.
It would. But it produces so fast.
Yeah, it does.
I think that
it does.
Speed is worth it. And we're going to be producing sulfuric acid anyway. I mean, we'll have to produce more.
Yeah, so...
I wonder if there's a better way to route that.
10 acid per minute to make 100 ingots per minute.
Huh?
I'm looking at the overall recipe requirements for the bleached iron.
1 acid.
Yeah. 10 per minute, though.
No. It's 100 per minute.
It's 100 per minute iron ingot output, but it's at 10 acid per minute consumption.
Oh. I see.
Yep.
That logic broke my brain for a second. So the production rate is 100 per minute, but each craft makes 10. So it means it makes 10 cycles per minute. And 10 cycles per minute means 50 iron ore and 10 sulfuric acid per minute.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Oh, we didn't get the steamed copper sheets yet. We need that. I hope that pops up then.
If it does, I'll make sure to grab it. What was the thing that uses sulfuric acid? That was... Oh, right. Right. That was the aluminum.
Aluminum.
The aluminum scrap. Yes.
Aluminum num num.
Man. It's produced in a blender, but it makes 300 scrap per minute. Ouch.
So let's actually go down and look.
Okay.
Aluminum scrap.
I'm going to actually think about this. If the aluminum scrap... Because if we have multiple things that are using sulfuric acid, I'm not sure if we want to have the water from the aluminum scrap loop back into itself. Or...
Liquid processing is usually separate from the main bus, too.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. We'll probably... Yeah, we'll need sulfuric acid for other things. It's used
so that's
in
1-to-1 on the fluid.
Battery, leach iron ingot, instant scrap, and then like 5 of the recipes we don't have yet.
4 to 6, 2 to 3.
Okay. Alright.
2 to 3, 5 to 10. Oh, that's way more efficient. Okay, so yeah, the instant scrap produces a bit slower at only 300 versus 360 per minute, but it's almost a 2-to-1 bauxite to aluminum scrap, and you take out the middle step.
That's why I was so, like, over the moon about it. Okay, so we've got a recipe for coated iron plates. We don't have an iron plate recipe other than the basic right now. This is 1 plastic and 5 iron ingots for 10 plates at a 75 per minute rate.
That is pretty good. That does require plastic. That could be quite useful, but because of the extra step of production, I don't know. There are
extra step?
Extra materials piped in.
Oh. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of this from the perspective of when we're getting to build each component of the mega base, are we going to want to pipe in 2 belts? Or are most things just going to need 1 belt?
I think a real question is how many iron plates we're really realistically going to need. Are we going to need to, like, have hundreds and hundreds of iron and dozens of machines because we need so many iron plates? Or
in most cases, you don't really need much more than 60 to 120 iron in at a time.
Okay.
For individual components, anyway. It does get a bit hefty when you have to build multiple machines, but it's not going to be so complex that we need a whole lot of shit going on at once.
I mean, like, in general, for other components of other items, are we going to need a ton of coated iron plates, or are we going to need a ton of iron plates or reinforced iron plates for those generally?
You know, the reinforced plates are definitely an issue. I actually think that might be a good bet, at the very least to save space, because that will mean 1 assembler, or let's see, 75 times 2 is 150. 20, 40, 80, 100. That would replace like 7 or 8 normal constructors with 2 assemblers. So that's actually pretty good.
Okay.
Oh, and we've got the stitched iron plate alternate already. How many per minute does that make?
Only 5.625, but the big draw there is that instead of using screws, you're using
It uses
wire.
copper wire.
Which, if you're not using a ton of copper wire, then it's good.
Yeah. And that is more efficient in iron plate use, too.
Copper wire is used in sand fluctuators, stators, and cable. And that's it. So, probably the, especially with the fused wire recipe.
Yeah, copper wire should not be an issue.
Yeah. So, if we go for the coated iron plate, we do give up the rescan.
Coated iron plate is worth it at this point.
Worth it for missing a chance that the other recipe you said needs to pop up?
Go ahead, rescan. It's a good point.
Steel rod or inventory slots? It's a bad rescan.
Yeah, 48 per minute's not bad, though, but still. What's the base production on the steel iron rods?
1-to-1, 15 per minute. It's really kind of bad. Especially with the steel production we're going to be doing. We're going to have quite a bit. And the steel beams in particular are going to be very useful and much easier to make with our alternates.
Yeah.
So
that would be useful because it's in a constructor and it only requires steel.
Yeah.
And it produces, like, more than 4 times faster.
Yep. Bad rescan, but still a good recipe.
Yeah, that's about on par in importance as the coated iron plates would have been, so go for it.
Fair. Okay. Second to last drive being scanned.
Yay.
Alright. I think I'd like to set up the ingot production over here somewhere. It's kind of at the beginning of the bus.
Okay.
Alright. So how do we get started? We're going to do pure copper, which requires water and copper ore. Bleached iron, which is going to require sulfuric acid and iron ore. So both are going to require refineries. But they're going to produce lightning quick, so there's not much in the way of space required. You know, I wonder if instead we should produce these closer to the water? But you did say that water is usually a thing you pipe through the main bus.
No, it's not.
It's not?
We usually do set up the things that require water near water.
Okay. That makes more sense.
And luckily, there is water relatively nearby that we can just pipe under to this area right here, which is where we can set up all of the manufacturing. But that's currently occupied, so...
Well, I was considering maybe putting it over on the other end. Because there's basically an infinite water source over there. As many machines as you want can fit in there. I don't even need to make the somewhat cheaty small ones. I can make the full-size ones. So, I'm going to go over here and set up a bunch of the full-size water pipes by this waterfall. And just pipe that over. And that'll be the first step, is getting that. Wow. So much new.
He am a loud boy.
Wow, half foundations. I forgot about those.
Yep.
And double ramps. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Stay on target. Flow extractors. Water extractor. I'm just gonna set up a boatload of these, pun intended. There's not really, there we go. Oops, not there. How close are you?
To
the ma'am?
Not very, I'm above. I can get it in a minute, though.
Okay, I'll go get it. I have the last hard drive anyway in my inventory.
Oh, nice.
Let me make sure that's actually the last hard drive. It is. So after this, we would need to go get more for more research. I really hope we get that. I forgot what recipe it is that you said you really wanted, but I hope we get it.
There are 2 recipes that we really need at this point. Steamed copper sheets and wet concrete.
Ooh, if we get wet concrete on one of those scans, that'd be great.
Yeah, wet concrete is one you can actually get early on, but at this point it's kind of essential because it not only increases the efficiency of the limestone to concrete, but it produces it like 3 times as fast.
Yeah, that sounds pretty essential. Automated miner and leached copper ingot. Wait, leached copper ingot.
That's basically the copper version of the iron recipe.
Oh. Wow.
So that's 9 to 22. That's more than 2 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got the pure, which is 6 to 15, which again is more than 2 to 1.
The problem, the big difference is the per minute, right?
Yeah.
Leached copper ingot goes way faster.
Indeed, it is.
And that's going to require 25 total per minute sulfuric acid.
Mm-hmm. Per machine, mind you.
Per machine. But I mean, it's 110 copper ingots per minute. How many of that do we need? Yeah, we're using 4 per quick wire synth, but those are also 30 per minute. Or 30% or something like that. Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So
the automated miner, however, would let us set up an assembler to automatically produce miners.
I don't know how necessary that is, though.
Well, since we've got like 250 or something in the storage right now, it's not that essential. We can just go through and do them again.
Rescan?
Unless you want the leached.
It's nice, but it's just more sulfuric acid I have to make instead of putting water through everything.
Yeah.
It's already kind of annoying that I have to do that for the iron.
If we get pure iron ingots, let's do that instead.
Okay. Steam copper sheets.
Bam.
The turbo blend fuel is kind of interesting, but we already have turbo fuel or turbo heavy fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So I think even though this is faster, the turbo heavy fuel is just better.
Yeah.
So steam copper sheets done. All right, we've the only thing we're looking for is wet concrete. The only thing we really need is wet concrete.
Yep.
I really wish we had unlocked that back when it was one of the only recipes we could unlock. If I go back through the VODs and I find out that we had the ability to get it and I passed it up, I'm going to be so angry.
I would have pointed it out.
Okay. Well, I know what to look for in the single-player world.
Yeah.
Though we'll probably not go back to doing that until after we're completely done with Satisfactory here on the stream, because once per week is enough. With the amount of brain blasting that this does. Trying to make everything work. Too much hard think time is bad for Fox.
Poor Fox.
Okay. That steady increase in consumption there. So... Oh, interesting. I can connect to the water extractors to fly.
Yep.
Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 or 10. If we have 10 extractors, that's a maximum of 1,200 cubic meters per minute. And we can also throttle them down if we need less than that.
Yep. There, I made it pretty.
Made what pretty?
Well, I'm making it prettier, but yes.
Now, here's the thing about the transport, or the logistics with this. Ooh, that is a lot of pipelines. That's a lot of pipelines.
What's up?
Oh, I was just looking at the amount of pipeline stuff options we've got.
Yes.
Alright, so the clean pipeline, Mark II. Here's the thing. How do I get these all to join together? Well, I could do that. I can make pipeline junctions all over here. Oh, I don't know if we told you, but we watched the third Sonic movie.
Oh, nice.
It was incredible. I'm not going to say Keanu Reeves is the best Shadow. I don't think that's true. But he did a good Shadow. Keep messing up the placement. I was told he said in an interview something like he pitched Shadow's voice somewhere between Sonic and Knuckles, wanting him to sound somewhere in between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. I still cannot get over how good Idris Elba performs as Knuckles. It's just, it's so good. He gets the dumb punchy guy Knuckles vibe really good without making him seem like a complete idiot.
Yep.
just dumb enough to be the likable punchy dude. Okay, it gives me Drax vibes, honestly.
Drax vibes.
Very much Drax vibes.
I can see that. Finger to the throat means death.
Now I should give Knuckles more credit. He's more intelligent than Drax.
Well, Drax isn't stupid. He's just very, very, very literal.
Knuckles did have a bit of Drax moment though. I'm not going to spoil the part of the movie, but he had what I would call a very Drax moment. It was one of those where it's like all of the characters trying to explain something, and he just keeps fixating on the violence portion and the beating something up and winning portion, and not the important conditional part.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no. The important part is this. Not what you keep focusing on, which is what you like doing. But it was all around a really good movie. Okay. Now, you said something about putting this in a water tower? Ooh.
Yes. A water tower is basically just a structure.
Like industrial fluid buffer, but stack it up like 4 times.
No. Well, technically, yes, that works. You can do it with the smaller buffers much more easily. You don't need that much storage space. A water tower it doesn't use tanks. You just put a pump at the base of the tower, build a pipe up to that pump's maximum limit, and then build the pipe back down, and so everything below the peak of that pipe will automatically get the maximum amount of water.
I like the idea of building with a fluid buffer, though.
Yeah, that is more aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
Just know that it is not necessarily required.
Okay.
As long as you end up reaching the same maximum height and it pumps through however many... Oh, the game does not exist? What?
What?
However many buffers you have before getting to the top one. And then out of the top one.
How do I know how high I'm building?
You can measure with foundations.
You're right, I can. Logistics. Pipeline pump. Have maximum head lift of 50 meters. Is there a way to see how much head lift this already has? No, there's not.
Holy shit! Wow!
What?
Off topic here for a minute. So, my partner has been having issues with her pay. And apparently, for the past... I'm not sure if it's more than 6 months or not. She has been getting paid $1 less an hour than she should have. And she works 4 10-hour shifts a week. So that's 40 hours a week. She just got a letter from wage correction.
Oh.
and they are giving her the money owed. She apparently had back owed wages totaling $2,400. So that's
That's a lot.
yeah, that's a decent chunk. She's got some savings now. That makes me happy.
Yeah, that's nice. Not nice that they.
So the story.
Not nice that they weren't doing that the whole time, but nice that. Wow.
Nice that they owned up to it and took responsibility. So the moral of that particular story is make sure. This game's still not showing up. Make sure that if you think you're being shorted, you talk to somebody about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so each of these industrial, or each of these fluid buffers is 8 meters tall.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I measured that with the foundations.
Well, that makes it easier.
So, 8, 16, 2 more is 32. 1 more would be 40. 48. Okay.
This is concerning.
You're not able to get into Satisfactory?
I'm able to get into Satisfactory. Your game does not appear. I wonder if Steam is down. No, it shows you playing, so...
And...
let's try joining this way.
You guys can't see, but I'm looking at my Steam overlay. You appear offline.
Well, yeah.
And that's intentional.
Okay, mods 27 loaded, right click, your picture, join game. It's not letting me. Yeah, your game does not exist to me.
What?
And yet Steam says you're playing.
What the...
Let me try restarting Steam.
If restarting Steam does not work, I can always restart the game.
Will that kill your stream?
No, it will not. The stream will be fine. It will just be completely black except for my face and these overlays for a little bit. Because it will not show my desktop or anything. It only shows the Satisfactory window. If Satisfactory is not running, it shows nothing.
Right.
But since that's underneath all the other UI, including my face, will still be there. I can also just do BRB.
Yes, it would be a great shame if the stream could not see your face any longer.
Thanks.
What? It's a cute
Sip
face.
Coffee. Yes, I've actually gotten some compliments from my human's mom about it, and she's like, "You don't need a custom avatar. The one you've got is fine." And I'm like, "Well, thank you. It's a basic avatar, but the person who did the skin, the custom skin, absolutely did a phenomenal job, and deserves way more than they charged." Of course, credit needs to be given to the person who drew the picture it was based off of too, which, I mean, we've already given Ebony plenty of business.
Right click.
So let's see.
Yeah, it's still not letting me join.
All right, well, it's time for me to reboot Satisfactory then, because if I can't, give me 1 second. I'm gonna do a quick thing here. There. Let's quickly do that. Exit to desktop. Just to be extra sure, I'm going to reboot Steam. None of that will mess with the stream. Reboot Steam here. Steam Couch Co-op Fest. Interesting. There is an interestingly, Path of Exile 2 is couch co-op. Which doesn't really do much for PC players. I mean, my human and his roommate did some couch co-op just for funsies, but it would be mostly useful for console players, which shows that they're already thinking about console releases. It's still in early access on Steam, and they're like, we're already preparing for console because we've got controller support in here for the PC version. We've got couch co-op support with 2 players, and maybe we could expand that.
Nice.
But they're already thinking about it.
Yeah, doesn't look like there was an update to Satisfactory, not since the FicSit stuff ended.
Nope.
So that's not the issue, and there's nothing new on Mod Manager, so that's not the issue.
And I don't have to start it through Mod Manager either.
No, but I tend to, just because it keeps me updated on if any of the mods are updated.
I had it running. I just didn't click the Play Satisfactory button through that. I clicked it through Steam. So, world is back up. Let me go ahead and return Satisfactory's visibility back on. There we go.
Floating tank. There you are. Join.
Okay.
Initializing respawn _ sequence .bat. Hiring therapist. Spilling coffee. No!
No, don't spill the coffee. So I did have this. You had this fluid buffer ready. It should be getting, well, 600 cubic per minute because that's how fast it can pull. This setup here is actually doing double that. So what I can do is I'm going to each one of these real quick. And since I only need 60 per minute, I will reduce the impact on our resources. Come on, come on. Copy. Paste. 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 Paste.
Yeah, it's a good number of pumps.
Paste. 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 That's 10 pumps, all producing at 50% per 50% capacity for the maximum of 600 cubic meters of water per minute.
Good stuff.
So we have the maximum we can flow until we got the Mark III pipelines. And they are going all the way up here. Because that's 50 meters of head lift. And that's only 48 meters high, I think. And it might already have some head lift from before, because I got a Mark II pump way down there where they first finished joining in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's plenty. Alright. So we're going to do the copper first. Copper ingot. That requires 4 water and 15. Actually, it's 10 per minute. Okay. I'll remember to add all of these up and kind of subtract them as I go.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget, we can underclock the machines and build more of them to save power.
Yeah. I think I like going with 100% as the base, but that might... from what I understand, underclocking them is not super helpful. I mean, from what I've seen, if you have 2 machines that are 50%, it's actually not more power efficient than 1 machine at 100%. It's actually
depends
less
on the
efficient.
machine.
Because I thought there's like a base power consumption. It can't just be exactly half. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll need to check it.
Oh. From what I remember, it is the case that less power, or underclocking, is more efficient power-wise. Because it's not linear.
Ah. So it's not a linear... Well, I was worried it was not a linear scaling in the bad way. That
No,
50% was going to be more... that 2 at 50% would take more power than 1 at 100%.
No.
Okay.
It's actually... As you go below the 100%, you save more power per production. As you go above the 100%, it costs more power per production. So,
okay,
you could build one machine at 100%, and you get that measurement of power. Then you take it to 50. It's using less than half the power it would.
Okay.
But if you take it up to 200, it's using way more than twice the power that it would.
Speaking of power, we have coated cable and all-clad casing for our final hard drive.
Hmm.
Now, the all-clad casing is just... instead of... It takes 20 aluminum and 10 copper and makes us 15 aluminum casings at almost twice the production rate. It uses an assembler instead of a constructor. I don't know how to feel about that.
Oh, it requires the all-clad... So that requires twice as much copper instead of just being straight from aluminum.
Hmm?
Oh, it does require aluminum ingots. I thought
Yeah, it requires...
that was the all-clad sheeting.
Nope. It's click to expand. So it's 150 aluminum ingots per minute and 75 copper ingots per minute for 112.5 aluminum casings per minute. See?
Okay.
compare that to our current 90 aluminum ingots per minute and 60 aluminum casings per minute.
It is a bit more efficient, but again, you're using copper.
If we were to make the same amount of aluminum casings per minute, it would cost us 168.75 per minute in aluminum ingots alone. Which is slightly more aluminum ingots. Only slightly.
So that depends on whether we have more aluminum or more copper. I'm not sure.
I think this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Especially compared to a rescan.
Yeah, the coated cable is kind of meh.
Yeah.
So
especially since we're already going to be using all the heavy oil residue for fuel, directly to fuel. Cheap silica and tempered copper ingot.
Bleh.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
So let's just let that one sit then, because both of those are trash.
Yeah. So I finally see the distilled silica oh.
Recipe.
So apparently Tango Tech has some custom IRL mug modded into the game. That's cool. So yeah, I just finally saw the distilled silica recipe. It produces 8 water, uses 10, but it also uses some... Is that limestone?
Yes, it is.
Ugh, that's annoying. Had to pump limestone into it.
That's unfortunate.
It is. But the production rate is so high.
It really is.
That's more silica than... I mean... We do have, I believe, silicon required for something.
But that's 50 limestone a minute per machine.
That's a lot. Really wish we had wet concrete now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I guess we have to go find more hard drives.
Yes, we're going to have to go find more hard drives. That's all there is to it. We didn't farm this earlier. I'm getting a little bit of graphical lag.
Yeah?
Yeah. I wonder if the...
I didn't do it.
I just wonder if the computer is not liking the reboot of the game. Or not liking something about...
plausible.
Yeah. It only has to deal with it for another hour. It might also just be tired because I processed a 8-hour-long video today.
Oh, yeah.
That took like 3.5 hours of it constantly running. I mean, it wasn't running something like a jet engine. It was mostly just a gentle... It was actually quieter than this, I think, the whole time. Because it just kind of, after an initial boom, it just kind of settles into a... Okay, this is going to take me 3 hours of just, like... thinking about it with the graphics card. Go ahead and I don't know if you can, if the chat will let you post the link. I think I have that disabled. But you can always message it to me. And then I can post it. Huh. That's actually really cool. I'm definitely gonna just drop that right in the chat here. The Mugificator.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's like an IRL mug that Tango Tech has for his stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with this, with my setup right now. But whenever I don't have Satisfactory selected, it moves over to my right monitor. And I have to, and goes like windowed full screen instead of full screen. And then I have to reselect it and window tab or window shift left it over. I'm also getting a graphical glitch on the. Oh, that's not good.
Sounds like you might be in need of some graphical fine-tuning.
I'm gonna just switch this to window to full screen. There we go. That's better. It's still doing a little bit of a glitchy thing with Chrome. But it's okay. Alright. So we are now going to make the copper. I'm going to put the copper ingots in here. How many do you think we're going to need? Because this beast produces 37.5 per minute.
We only have, like, the two... How many copper mines do we have active?
Well, that's not too much of a concern. I can always make more.
Yeah. That's iron. That's iron. That's copper. We've only got one.
Yeah.
But it's a normal, so that's going to be, what, 240 a minute?
Mm-hmm.
So we can process up to 240 copper per minute.
Fair. We don't have the miner Mark III yet, if there is one.
No. So it is only 240. Nope. 120.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 120 for default.
Okay, but that'll at least give us 240 out, since it's almost 2 to 1.
Let's see here. Copper ingot. Click to expand.
Okay. 2 more copper ores. Both impure, so that's kind of shit.
That'd be 60 per.
That's down by the Caterium anyway. Wolf.
Didn't I grab those? I've already got those pumping. It's already
the 2 impures?
Yeah.
Down by the Caterium? Yeah, they're already feeding into the Caterium.
Okay. So we actually do have 240 total.
Okay, good.
So, if I made this, let's say 120 per minute. Gosh. It won't give me an estimate if I go over the overclocked maximum.
Oh,
So, time for my calculator. So, if I have 240 copper ore per minute, and I divide that by 15 per minute per machine, that's 16 machines.
Yep.
Times 37.5, that's 600 copper ingots out.
Pretty good.
I don't. My mindset is I think that's more than we're ever going to need. Probably wrong. I am probably wrong on that.
That will be more than we will immediately need, but it will never be more than we will ever need.
True. 16 times... Okay, well, that's 160 water per minute, though. It's a lot of water to be dumping into that.
Yeah.
So we probably only want to go with the 120.
Yeah, I think so.
2 more divided by 15 per minute, that's 8 machines. 8 refineries. And that'd be 80 water per minute. It's still a lot of water to use, but... I mean, I can also run a second pipe. Those pumps are going at half efficiency.
And
it's 80 out of 600.
Yeah.
And that's not considering any water we use over at the crude oil stuff.
Yep.
And
we're
we also
not using a whole lot of water at the moment. We've got plenty of room for more.
True. And when we redo the fuel production, I don't think there's any water involved in that. Which means that if we're okay with shutting down the aluminum and moving that, which we will have to reorganize how we're running it, we can just turn off the water entirely and reroute it to our supply for all of the refining stuff. So that makes sense. Alright then, I'm going to make 8 refineries here for the copper. Just getting that weird sensation of when you're like dangling over the edge of something. And you want to like grip something with your toes. But I'm not anywhere near out far enough to fall from not having power. Not with those things right at the edge. Okay. So, I have the refineries set up. I just need to pump stuff into them. Organization, logistics. Okay, I think I'm gonna do a junction L here. And then... No. Not in that direction. Junction L. In this direction. Because then I want to do...
Oh.
Hmm?
I just crashed again.
Really?
Yeah. Well, at least when I'm crashing, it's crashing the game instead of my whole computer.
Yes, that's better. That is better. How do I want to do this? I have a method to my madness.
I am further expanding the base.
Expandering.
Yes.
Final Fantasy XIV brain rot. What I immediately thought of when you said that was Expandervilling. Because I'm thinking of the Mandervilles.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things that's coming up in the update is, well, more Hildebrand.
Ah.
Okay, hold on a second. What? How do I connect the... How do I connect two junctions together?
You can't directly connect two junctions together.
No! That ruins my whole plan.
Yeah.
That ruins
Sorry.
the whole thing. Thanks.
So usually what you'll do is you'll build an elevated T junction and then just pipe down into whatever you're connecting.
Okay. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. Alright. Thanks, I hate it. Okay, so the elevated T-junction, it's gonna be... Ooh, I think I figured out how to do that. Hologram that there. How do I nudge it up? Oh, left shift. There we go.
No more.
Hmm?
It's not quite, unless you want it at an angle.
Oh. Hold on a second. There we go.
There you go.
Okay, but it's positioned properly at least.
Looks like.
Okay. And of course I can't copy that positioning. I've got to reposition it for each one. Is that correct? Looks like it is.
Hey, would you look at that?
Oops.
We can start disassembling this sideways platform.
Oh. Okay, straight down. 5 up. 2 over. And rotate. That's too low. I don't think I care. This is already getting tedious.
This is something that the blueprinter is useful for.
Really?
Yes.
Why won't it go up?
Because you're not standing in the right place.
I'm holding left shift for nudge up and down. Oh, there we go. That's because it's not up. Okay, these are all getting smaller and smaller. Or not smaller and smaller, shorter and shorter. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take your suggestion and use the blueprinter. Alright. Okay. Edit that. Nope, nope, nope. No. Oh, there we go. Select icon. Okay. Ah. Okay, so I have to build the thing first, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so it builds it there. And then I have logistics for a pipeline bend. Rotated that way. And then I go for a junction T, which I'll align here, hologram, up 3, rotate down.
You want it up just one more click so there's enough room for the pipe.
Okay. Like that?
Oh, too far. One down.
There.
There.
Alright. And then...
See, we're doing... This is the pure copper ingot, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Then you only need Mark 1 pipes because it will never need more than 10 water per minute.
Right.
Unless you overclock. However, from the side-to-side point, that will require a Mark II.
Which I'm not going to build into the
And-
blueprint.
Yeah. However, it will require... No, stop. Thank you. I hate when it gets stuck going up. Logistics... Conveyor splitter?
Ah, you're right. We'll need a conveyor splitter.
No.
There. That's good.
Okay. And then you can save that and plant it down at wherever you want.
Okay. Okay, and how do I just save? Okay.
And to build, here you go. Go into your build menu.
Wait, did you take them down?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Blueprints, copper refinery.
There you go.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can still use the H to lock it down and then arrows to bump it.
All right. I can't control to snap them together.
Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. It doesn't work the same way as the straight machines do, so...
Oh, there we go. It does work. I think I just needed some distance.
Ah.
That's 5.
You can still place them when they're yellow.
6. 7. Oh, yeah, you're right. That is,
Hit R while in the deconstruct menu.
oh, there we go. Alright. I see why it's giving me that slight error.
Yep.
Okay. And that's all 8 of our copper refineries placed. Now we should connect them
Nope,
together.
that's only 7.
What? It is. Okay. One more. One more for the road. Okay. Now that's all of them placed, and I'm going to have to make pipeline Mark II in between all of these T-junctions.
All these squares make a circle.
Place no popo.
Bitch, don't tell me what to do!
I don't necessarily want to make I can't make a junction fork on here. Ew.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that.
Wait.
Taking from the water tower is just kind of awkward. Because I had to basically do this. And then, if I ever want to take from here again, I mean, yeah, I could do that. Ah, that's nice.
Twelve times 4. That's 48. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and now that I've got that,
Now it at least looks proper.
I can take the pipeline support off, and I can put on the... You can put a junction onto... Yeah, you can.
Nice.
Okay. So I can put...
Well, that's a quality of life improvement right there.
Yeah, I can put a junction onto a pipe. I have to put the pipe down first. As long as it's not a junction to a junction, it works.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know... Ooh. I have a brilliant idea.
Oh?
See how this is snapping?
Mm-hmm.
It's not snapping perfectly, but if I can make the clean pipeline. Travel down along this wall. Then, anytime I need a split, I can just do the junction fork right on top of it.
Perfect. There you go.
How do I... I want to do that. I want it to point down. Will that work?
Excuse me.
That should work.
Noodle.
Okay, it works. It was only overlapping the power lines. The power line, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it does appear to be coming through at the correct flow rate.
Fill rate 602. Drain rate 602. Net 0.
Cool. Alright, so these are all able to be filled. Now we just need to get the copper over here.
Mm-hmm.
And also connect all these to the power grid. Connect.
Yeet.
Daisy chain.
Yep. And the nice part is we can overclock all of these to 200%, and bam, there's your 16 machines for 240.
Yep.
Not that we need that.
No, we don't. We don't.
We will need a lot of copper, though, because a lot of things require copper.
True.
They may not require a whole lot at a time, but there are a lot of them.
True. So, where's the entry point for the main bus?
Everywhere. Basically, it's gonna be pretty much a, it pipes in from whichever end happens to have it.
SPO.
And there's gonna be brain short circuit. Sorry, give me a second.
Is there gonna... So, is there... Would there be a splitter going both directions, or do we just do that if we need it?
Like, we just do that if we need it.
If we pump it in this way, and it joins the main belts here,
mm-hmm,
then it will go that way toward the center of the main bus.
Yes.
And if we have something that needs copper that's in this direction, then we just split it off when we need it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sometimes what we end up doing is we'll have multiple belts of resources, one running each way, rather than a unified direction. So it's wherever we can belt in the resources is where they get belted in. Okay. And it's distributed left or right or up or down or wherever it's needed. That's the beauty of having a bus with this many potential belts. Flexibility.
Fair. You know, I just realized that this is going to be the worst spaghetti in the world. Because you're going to have belts clipping through other belts in this so badly, isn't it?
No.
Okay, so...
That's what the distribution hubs are for.
Oh. Okay, so walk me through how we're going to pump this into the main bus. I'm going to take...
Since this is going to be over 480 a minute, it's going to have to be divided into 2 belts. So...
No, it won't be.
4 machines.
It's not going to go over 480 per minute, is it?
I thought you said it was going to be close to 600.
No.
With 120 coming in.
Wait. It's 37.5.
Times 8.
Which is 300.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then all that will go on to a single 480 belt.
Okay. So... we make the mergers. And just like normal. 1 merger per. Them all lining up. Okay. And then we have them all connected. I'm just gonna use Mark II and then Mark III. At what point do we need Mark IV? Not until the last 2, I think, right?
Let's see, it's 60. No, yeah, 60, and then Mark II, because 120. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
It's 240.
13, 14, 15, 16.
And then 60 less. So until the last 2 machines, we don't need Mark IVs. Because each machine is 37.5. So after the 7th machine, it becomes over 240. But until then, it's under 240. Okay. So...
the speed for those belts is actually 270.
270? Oh.
Yeah, it's weird. The Mark III, it makes that weird jump.
So the Mark III is okay right up until the last one. Because until it clears the 4th machine, does it become 300?
Yep.
Alright.
For ease of math, I just rounded these up to 40, so it's 40, 80, 120, etc.
Okay. So then we bring it over this way toward the main bus.
Yep.
How do I join it in?
We pick a location and just set it.
Is it a bad idea to pick the closest location to the...
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Just remember, we're going to want to leave a gap between each of them, so that we can take off from the belt with a lift as needed, without clipping.
Oh. So, how would we split off from this belt then? We would use a conveyor splitter? And then a lift?
Yep.
Okay, now I'm getting it. So, if we wanted to split right here, let's say, we would just conveyor splitter, and then
conveyor floor hole to get the lift in the right location. Now you'll need to move the splitter. Does control to snap work?
No, it doesn't.
Darn. Right now. Oh, it'll snap to that.
Yeah, it'll snap to that, but it's
There you go.
too close.
It snapped to the right location for a second.
Oh. You're right, it did. Put it back. Okay, so go along this. And that connects.
Supposedly. There's no real way to test it without putting something on the belt.
Okay. But then this would go underneath.
Yep. And then it pops back up wherever we need it.
But that means we have to fly underneath the base.
Yeah. That's simple enough to do.
I guess it's better than... you're right. It is. I was gonna say, I guess it looks prettier than putting spaghetti all over the sky.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be more satisfactory that way, though.
Yes. As long as efficiency standards are met, I don't think Ada or anybody else cares how it looks.
True. Although apparently, according to Tauren, there's a worst spaghetti in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically anything by Gray still plays.
Alright, so that's how we split this off. That's actually a lot more convenient than I thought it was going to be, and it gives me a lot of ideas for how to make this look and function correctly.
Yep.
Alright. So now the hard part. Kind of.
Here, I shall test this out. Oh, we didn't leave the thing. Never mind.
It's okay.
Excuse me. Dying.
Please don't.
Too late.
Dying is not allowed on my stream.
What about off your stream?
Alright. So I'm gonna fly all the way over here to where the copper is. And reroute it.
Mm-hmm.
Either that, or go take the two machines from what's currently going into Caterium. I'd rather take this one, though, because it's one machine.
Mm-hmm.
Two machines is going to be, like, literally twice as expensive.
Yep.
Where is the...
Well, actually, no, because it's the same belt. If you take the two machines, they'll still only take a 120 belt.
I know, but what I'm saying is, if I were to...
Oh.
If I'm taking this Mark 1 miner... This is a Mark 1.
It's now a Mark 2.
Which... is...
Why wasn't it upgraded?
I don't know. But it was never upgraded.
And yet it was still producing 120 a minute.
Because it had a power shard in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, that was a... not a big drain, but it was a unnecessary drain on our power.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So, this is producing 120 per minute. And I'm going to reroute this. So those... the copper down there will no longer function. This is going to take 120... So, Mark II belt.
Hold up.
Hmm? Oh. That works. And that's a Mark II conveyor lift?
Yep. It is.
Okay. And
Is
then
that going in the right direction?
What is it?
I think it is. The arrows looked weird on the build screen, but it may have just been a glitch.
Yeah, it's going in the right direction.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yep. There you go.
I'm nowhere near close.
Nope. It's gonna be a long belt.
Oh, and it's gonna have to turn.
Yes, it is. Twice. But I'd say, yeah, turn it. Oh, you're going that way under the... Okay.
Yeah. Huh. Keep going. We're almost there.
Q Mark II. Oh wait, no, I need the floor hole first.
Perfect. Oh, it's nowhere near caught up to me. I was building faster.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Building faster than it can go. How far back is the copper? Oh, there it is. Wow. That's a ways. It's a long ways for the copper to go. This is but the first of many victories in Mega Base building.
Yes. From 120 copper ore, we're getting 300 copper ingots. Which is pretty dang good.
I might have almost run out of juice when I got over here. So,
yep.
If you extend this, try to extend the power poles too.
Yep. I just hadn't gotten around to it yet.
Alright, so that is how we're going to get our copper ingots from now on. One thing to remember is that, ooh, wait a second. I want to get rid of the copper ore that's in the depot. So, what was I gonna say? One thing to remember is the summer sloops. We can sloop anything we really need, and I think the more complex things take more sloops.
The more complex machines require more sloops.
Oh, it's just the machines.
Yep.
Not the recipe.
So,
the recipe doesn't matter.
Not the recipe. Nope.
Oh, that's good to know. Because we've got a really low machine recipe. Recipe uses a small machine. Because it's per input, right? So refineries, assemblers, and constructors are the best ones to do it with. Because they'll only require 1 or 2 sloops. Cool. Alright. We got our copper on the line. Now, the last step for this is bringing it all the way back to the main bus. Right?
Yep.
Huh? Why does this require a stand? There's a pole right here. Not the foundation. Stop copying the foundation. Copy the conveyor belt. I'm saying this is too far. Huh. Interesting. So it still requires a stand. Even if you put it right here, it still requires a stand.
Oh, on the ground level, yes, it does.
Okay. Alright. Alright, so we're... This is coming back to into the bus building. Do we... Oh, wow. This is a nice interior.
You're welcome.
I like this.
You're welcome.
So, this is just going to come in here and go wherever the hell it needs to. It's not going to go into a container. There's not going to be any kind of storage buffer or anything. It just comes in here.
Yep.
Okay.
No storage buffers.
See, my original
the only
idea...
storage buffers... Go ahead.
My original idea for a bus was something more like a warehouse where everything goes into a storage container. So you have a storage buffer for every single item in the game, and that way you can visually see how, that you're stocking up on everything and how much. And that way you can set it to slightly overproduce so that you have some in stock in case you ever need to use it. But I guess that's the difference between Satisfactory and Dyson Sphere programs. That's how I do it in DSP. But here, since everything's constantly moving all the time in and out of part manufacturer machines, it's better just to have everything moving and not bother storing it unless you are putting it in there for a specific reason.
Yeah. Raw materials don't bother storing for the most part. More advanced materials, go ahead and store a small amount and burn the rest.
Yeah. Make sure you have a grinder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that seems like it's as set up as it's going to get for now. And the copper ore has finally reached the refineries. So this works. Now, I'm also going to have to bring over the sulfur. And sulfur might be is used in a couple different things, if I remember correctly. Sulfur is used in black powder, alternate compacted coal, and sulfuric acid. Rocket fuel? Huh. Rocket fuel is better than turbo fuel.
Yes, it is. But it's also way more expensive.
Not really.
Oh, well, that's true. I'm thinking of the ionized fuel.
Nitric acid is pretty easy. It's just nitrogen gas and water. And it produces, as much as it takes in of the combined fluids and an extra compacted coal. It would produce 10 per minute, yeah. 70 per minute at 7 per craft would make 10 compacted coal each minute. Not a lot, but it's nice. So I'm thinking for the sulfur, we probably don't. I don't know. For how do we make compacted coal? Are the only recipes for compacted coal actually rocket fuel and this alternate? Oh yeah, because compacted coal itself is an alternate.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. But it's used in what we're going to be doing with turbo fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to use it to make turbo heavy fuel.
Compacted coal is used in making turbo fuel, period.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What we need to do with the sulfur is we need to bring it back to base, and we need to make sure that we have enough left over from wherever we're mining it to make compacted coal. And the reason we're going to bring the sulfur back to base and put it through the main bus is because we've got a couple of different places to use it. Everywhere that makes sulfuric acid is going to need that and water, and every place that uses compacted coal is going to need that and coal. So the coal and the sulfur are going to go through the main bus.
Yep.
The water we don't necessarily need to make it go through the main bus because we could just pump it over all these places from that tower.
Yep.
Alright. So next time on Satisfactory, we're going to be bringing over some basic materials through the main bus that are going to be used in multiple places, specifically sulfur and coal. And we'll be setting up iron production once we have that ready, because we need the sulfur for sulfuric acid to make the leached iron ingot. And then we'll have... Oh. Okay, it froze for a second there. Then we'll have both...
There it goes.
The...
Yeah, it did.
We'll have both the iron ingot and the coal, copper ingots already producing ready and all that good stuff. And from that we can start building out and processing more materials, or finish all of our ingot processing. Might want to finish all of our ingot processing.
Yeah.
And then once we've got all the basic ingots being made, we can work on the parts that those become. And eventually start working on the parts that those make, and those make, and those make, and so on. Until our mega base is producing everything. So this is going to be like, what, 3 or 4 weeks of just building mega base projects and making everything be produced here?
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. But this is like... This is almost... I feel like this is going to be the most interesting and the most boring part at the same time. Boring because we're just remaking setups for everything we've already started and done. And more interesting because we're doing it far more efficiently and at a much larger scale than we would ever have been able to do before, when we didn't have enough resources and recipes to do this.
Yep.
So it's exciting because we're going to be doing all these big, really well planned out and thought out builds for all of the stuff in the game. So I'm excited.
Is exciting. We are excitable.
Mm-hmm.
And we're efficient about it.
But not as excitable as the Fennec. Oh god, no. Yeah. Those little yap machines can compete with Chihuahuas for being neurotic. One's scared all the time, the other one's just bundle of energy all the time.
Mm-hmm. And scream!
Yep.
I exist, therefore I must.
I'm gonna go back to base.
Alright.
Do you have a safe place to log out?
I'm going to attach myself to a zipline and head back to base.
I do really like the way you cut this out and framed it with the guardrails. It's so good.
I like doing that. It's a minor thing, not an essential thing, but it's very pleasing. It's very satisfactory.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's not at all symmetrical or any kind of like what you would normally call aesthetically pleasing, but seeing this wide expanse of nothing and then suddenly an interesting asymmetrical shape cut out of the ground, nicely framed, it's interesting.
And things poking up out of it.
Yeah, too. much better than things poking up out of the ground for no reason at all.
Very true.
Or with no hole that, works with that.
We got anything left in the ma'am? Nope.
No. We definitely do not.
Just some garbage.
Okay. Well. I'm gonna go over and let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and raid Fuyu because Fuyu is doing Civilization 7 again. Or, well, 6. It was 6 before, now it's Civilization 7. So this is going to be even more interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and start that before this ad starts. Alright, so come back here next Friday, next Wednesday for more Satisfactory, more base building. Sunday will be Path of Exile 2 again, and soon maybe other things. Don't forget, I will continue to upload streams the week after they air on Wednesdays, and I'm still uploading .hack 2 episodes a week, so that's 2 roughly 20 to 40 minute episodes every Saturday and Monday, so as not to flood everybody. And I'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye.
Okay. I think I waited long enough.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Save. Saved. And quit to desktop.